For me, it's been about 5 weeks of the COVID reality, 4 weeks of our stay-at-home order, and it's changed how we're thinking and doing youth ministry. But is it really? This week we're going to have some conversations about what it looks like for us to be doing ministry in a COVID world. This is the Youth Worker Daily. Hey everybody, welcome to the Youth Worker Daily, where we hope to encourage youth workers just like you with tools, tips, resources, and helps so that you might thrive in your ministry. My name is Jay Hyam, and it has been a number of weeks. Like I said in the intro, it's 5 weeks since Corona has become a reality for our ministry, both student ministry and at the church. It's been 4 weeks since we've had an official stay-at-home order that we have been living and working under. And it has forced all sorts of changes in how we not only do ministry, but how we live. I mean, for instance, for me to now do the Youth Worker Daily, this week I am getting up super early before the family, before my wife, before my kids. I'm trying to find a space in my house that is quiet, has good acoustics and good lighting, and you can see and hear that where I am, I don't have any of those. I don't have good sound, I don't have good lighting, but it's the best I can do because of where we are and what's happening in life right now. And I think it's that kind of illustration kind of connects with just about everything we're doing right now in life. The coronavirus has pretty much shut down what we think as the normalcies of life, and it is forcing us to do things differently. And as I start thinking about all of this and the impact that it's making to student ministry, I started thinking about what's it going to look like as we adapt to this long-term experience of doing student ministry in a different way, and really the impact that it might have long-term for our student ministries. And I've started seeing a couple things coming out about this. I think for the most part, many of us thought that this would be a couple weeks. We'd get online, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, do some things with our students. But as the days have turned 2 weeks and now we're over a month into the COVID experience, now we are thinking, what does this look like to be doing ministry in this way, maybe long term, especially as we begin hearing things like we might be still doing this into the months of May and June. And if that's true, well, that's going to significantly impact how we are doing our ministries. And so this week, I want to think about some areas that we may have to reconsider what we're doing and how we're doing it, and really asking some questions like, what will be the long-term impact for our student ministries because we have been separated from our students for as long as we have. I mean, social media is great. We can Zoom with our students. We can text with our students. We can make phone calls with them. I mean, we can still stay connected, but it's not the same as that personal connection that we often look forward to as youth workers when it comes to those relationships with our students, and for that matter, even our leaders, okay? So what's going to be the long-term impact for our student ministry because of this separation that we're continuing to experience? Or things like, while we might be doing some things differently now, is ministry really changing? I know there's been some stuff I've seen on social media talking about innovations to ministry, and because most churches are now going online, there's no going back to the way things used to be. And I'm beginning to wonder if that's really true, or if that is just some of the hype that is coming out because so many of us are looking to other people for ways of doing things online. How do I use Zoom? How do I use Facebook? How do I use cameras? What do I need? So I'm kind of wondering, is there really a change taking place in ministry? Or is it just because of this season that we are in, we have to do things a little differently? Like, I don't expect to be doing our youth groups online when all of this is over. Like, I don't even expect to be streaming online when all this is over. So are we really changing our ministry, or are we just adapting for a season? I want to talk about that a little bit, and then how we do things. How does that affect how we do things? And what will be the future? You know, as for most of us, we start thinking about spring and summer, you know, in the wintertime, and so, or even some of us in the fall, as far as booking mission trips and stuff like that. But now we've come to the place where usually in the spring, we are deep into fundraisers and getting ready for mission trips and our summer activities. And now all of a sudden, those things are in question. Are we going to be able to have a mission trip? Are we still going to summer camp? Can we do some of the summer activities that we were planning to do? We just don't have answers for that. And so what's the impact for the near foreseeable future and then the long-term future? Summer, fall? I mean, if we're going until June, is there a possibility that we might even go into a July or an August? I mean, those things are just, we don't know. We don't know what the future is going to bring. So how are we thinking about summer and fall? And I want to specifically talk about some topics this week as they relate to things like summer camps and mission trips. What about the graduating class? We have a class of seniors, both in high school and in college, that won't be able to graduate in the normal ways that we have been doing graduation. So what does that look like for them, and how do we respond to that? How about things like our move up or our bridge events, as we think about the rising sixth graders coming into the junior high, or the rising freshmen coming into the high school? And if you're in college ministry, what does it look like to receive rising first years into your college ministry? If we have normal things in place that we've been doing for years that have become part of our culture and tradition, well, chances are we're not going to be able to do those things. And so what does that look like? And after all, if ministry is still about relationships, is what we're doing now in investing in relationships, is it enough to sustain those relationships so that when we are able to come back together, we have the ministry that we had once before, maybe even better, I don't know. But how are we investing in those relationships? And are those relationships going to be still solid enough for us to have them when COVID finally leaves us alone? You know, our ministry it's still a relational ministry, but are our relationships going to withstand this time? So those are some of the things that I've been thinking about, and I'm not sure I really have answers for any of them, but I do kind of feel this desire to start a conversation with youth workers asking, what is ministry going to look like when all of this is over? Because I think in some ways we have to plan whether this is going to roll into May or June or longer, but we also have to plan for what it's going to look like after. Because I kind of feel like we're going to have to do a whole lot more work to get students to come back to the church. Maybe not. Maybe that once this is all over, we'll be so desperate to get out of our houses that we'll see even greater numbers showing up on our midweeks or our weekend services. I don't know. But what does that look like? How are we preparing? What conversations do we need to be having? What planning needs to be taking place so that we can move on past Corona in a way that is healthy and viable and sustainable? And so I'd love to have those conversations with you. And like I said, I don't know that I have any great answers to any of those questions, but last week I just started really thinking about what's this all going to look like when this is all said and done. And so I'd really love to have those conversations, and I'd love to start the dialogue with you and hear some of your thoughts on these things. And I know this might be a little difficult to go back and forth with a video and a YouTube page and a blog, but I would hope that maybe this week we might be able to start having some commentary between us about what you might be doing and what we are doing, what I'm doing in our student ministry as we think of COVID going into April and then possibly May, possibly June. How does that affect our summer? How does that affect our fall? How does it affect our future planning in student ministry? So I'm really curious to hear some of the things that you might be thinking. And I'll share some of the things that I've started thinking about in ways of preparing for and getting ready for the return to some sort of normalcy of life. So in the comment section below, go ahead and start that question. Share a little bit of what you're thinking. Are you beginning to think, this is going to go into June, and so we have to readjust all of our summer ministry? Or are you kind of sitting back and thinking, we still have time to respond. Let's just see how much longer this goes, and then we'll kind of take it from there. Or if you're kind of like, hey, we're already through this. This is what our plans are. This is what we're doing. I'd love to hear all of those ideas and thoughts from you. So leave them in the comments below. And later this week, I'm going to be sharing a few more thoughts on the blog, and I want to encourage you to come and make sure you visit us at theyouthworkerdaily.com and read some of that stuff. And of course, I'll be sharing some things that we are currently doing because of COVID, as far as Facebook and YouTube and social media and all those good things that we are now relying on to stay connected with our students. So I'll be sharing some of what we're doing there as well. As always, guys, make sure you are following us on social media, because on social media is where we post updates about things that we're doing, but we're also looking for great ideas and things that you guys are doing. I know that already early this morning I was scrolling through some Instagram stuff, and I saw a couple really good ideas of how to connect with our students during this season, and I'm going to be reposting and sharing those great ideas and highlighting the people who have posted them, because I think those are really fun, great ideas. So make sure you're following us on social media at the Youth Worker Daily. That is YTH Worker Daily. We'd love to have you guys part of our family there. All right, that's going to do it for today. Make sure you join with us tomorrow as we dive into this topic a little bit deeper. Hey, it's ministry in a COVID world. What's it look like? That's what we're talking about right here on the Youth Worker Daily.